Alright everyone, welcome back. So in this lecture we are going to insert or create our courses. So this will be the when you are going to click on add course. So this is the view where I have added the category, the language, title, tagline, price, issue certificate, drop down, description and image. Now that's not only the thing, obviously we have lot of other things to cover. So what I will do is basically on the initial way. So once the user or the course will be created, we will redirect the course creator or the tutor to the course edit page, and on the edit page we will have a different layout. Okay, so let me also show you the layout that I am talking about. So that layout would be, let me show you inside the form wizard section. So here I will use this format. So here you can see social media links and all of these stuff. So initially we are going to go for this page, and then when the user will click on edit or the user will be redirected to the edit page, we will follow this visit section. Okay, so let's get started with that. I have created the course form request class where you can see that we have a category ID, language, title, tagline, price, issue certificate and image. So I have basically used all these options to make sure the form validation is properly in contract with before inserting the record. Then what I would also like to do is basically, so since you have seen that we have created categories and languages, what I want is basically whenever the category is accessed, before returning the category, I want to cache it, because categories are a kind of thing that are really important, and they are not updated very oftenly. So once if the categories are defined properly, so instead of like getting caches, making query again and again from the database to fetch categories and to fetch languages is kind of a hard thing. It's basically not a hard thing for us. We just have to write these two characters or these two words and everything works. But it's really hard for the Laravel, and it is not good for the when it comes to the computational things. So a lot of queries to the database really makes a huge impact on the application performance. So what I'm going to do is basically I am going to use cache remember forever. Okay, so we have a remember forever. Here I am going to pass the name of categories and the callback function. Inside the callback function I am going to return all categories. All right, now if I reload the page, for the first time the categories will be fetched from the database and is cached. Now if I reload the page again, this time the categories will not be fetched from the database, instead they will be loaded from cache. Okay, similarly I would also like to do the exact same thing with our languages section. So here I will use the cache remember forever, where we have this one, and languages, and a callback function that will return language all. All right, and one more thing is basically we are returning a collection, and it is remember let me just copy the exact spellings from here, remember forever. Okay, so now instead of now loading every time these things from the database, this will directly fetch the data from the cache. You can just verify it by installing the debugger, Laravel debugger as well. Now, the other thing that I would like to point out is you might be wondering, okay, if there is any new category, let's insert any new category, and let's also open the Udemy and see inside the development we have web mobile development. So inside the development, let's choose mobile development. Okay, and hit submit. Now if I only see the web development, not the mobile development. And if I go to the add courses, here it's the same. And even if I try to go to all languages, we have English and French. Let's also add German. Sorry, the spellings are mistakenly wrong, but still you can see that these are not here. Okay, so you might be wondering what should we do in that case. So in that case, if we go and see like what we need is basically we need to go to app and observers. Similarly, to have user observer, we need to create an observer, PHP artisan make observer, and that would be category observer, and the model it should point is category. And let's also create the observer for languages and use it as language observer. Okay, now what we need in both of these observers, also category observer. Let me quickly remove the comments from here first. So whenever there is any new category created, what I will be doing is basically I will say cache forget method. Okay, so cache forget and categories. Similarly, whenever there is a cache category updated or deleted, we are going to basically use forget methods. All right, exactly the same scenario we are going to do for languages. So let's also use languages and follow the same pattern. Now, one more thing that we need is basically we need to go into the language controller, sorry, the model, and use the attribute of hash observed by, and here you should use language observer and class. All right. Similarly, for categories, we also need to do the same thing. So observed by language, observed by category controller, category observer, sorry, category observer and class. All right, now see if so far the next language, the German that we added, will not be visible to us. But if I click on edit and I go to the third one, so this is our German. Now let's change this to German and let's go back to our languages, and now you can see that we now have German here. Let's also add one more, and that is called Urdu. Click on that, go to all languages. You can see this is working. Similarly, all categories will also work the same. Okay, so that's the first thing. Now let's back to our courses section. Let's try to insert the course into our database. So let me close all these files. Let's also open the category controller. So we have this form here. Okay, so I am using the tiny MCE editor here, so you can definitely install it if whatever the theme you are using, if that does not has, you can install it tiny MCE. All right, and then we have a form here, and that form should be targeting to our courses and courses.store. So inside the courses.store, I will going to copy this from category and paste it here. Let's import all the files, use the type hinting of redirect response, And for our category service, we need to make sure it is pointing to, and now change this to course edit successfully. Now let's create a service, course service. Let's create a function of store and use request return course create, and inside that we are now going to create our courses. So the first thing that we need to grab is user ID. This is really important. All right, so for the course ID we are going to use request input user ID. Now there is one more thing which is really important and I would like to point out, but definitely admin will not do the stuff, but for the purpose sake of the purpose, once we will be working with our policies method, what I want is basically if the admin is adding a course, so we will give the option to admin to choose the user, or basically not a user, a tutor, on the behalf of which this course is being added. Okay, definitely students will not have any options to create courses. Only tutors and admins have those options. So for if the tutor is logged in, so the users dropdown will be hidden, but for the admins, that user dropdown should be visible. But that's not we are going to do right now. That will be done once we are going to implement the policies functionality. So for the moment, I am going to use auth ID, alright, for our logged in users. Then we need the category ID, which is definitely important one. So we will grab that request input category ID. Alright, so let me just duplicate this functionality. Then we have a language ID and language ID. Now we have title, and let's also use the title. Now duplicate everything. We have tagline, then we have URL title. This URL title we will definitely generate. We now have price, we have issue certificate. So let me just duplicate this option 2-3 more times. Then we have image, so definitely we will also upload the image. Description finally. All right, so with that said, let's quickly copy the category service and copy this generate URL function from here, and let's also import the string and use the course. All right, and let's also point out to where we have URL title, this one. So $this generate URL title and pass the request, and this category should be course. Let's also search and replace. All right, additionally we also have image upload functionality, so we are going to use this image upload function that we have already used. So let's paste it here, and categories to courses. All right, now inside this option, once this is created, so we are going to redirect the user back to our courses page for now. Okay, but later on, once we will finalize the HTML or the front end, we will change this option to redirect the user back to the course edit page. Okay, so let's choose the category. So I'm going to use the web development. Okay, I see that we did created the mobile development, but it's not coming here. Definitely because we have not edited that. So let's edit any option and click update it, and then update it back, go to all categories, and now we have this option. So now let's go to courses, add courses, and we now need to choose the web development. Language should be in English, and let's say learn Laravel. And let's also choose the image. So for the time being, let's choose this one. Let's say the price is $49.99, and issue certificate is yes. Let's also use Lipsum to basically put some content here, and that's it, I guess. Yep. So let's try to submit and see if everything works. Okay, it says what's the problem here. So let's use 49 for now. Okay, the image field must be JPEG, PNG. Okay, what do we have here? This is WebP. That's the problem. So we need to fix that inside our course form request. We also need to allow WebP images as well. So we have, okay, so our category is not selected. That's quite strange. Let me see. Category controller, sorry, the course controller. We have build HTML options, and we have category ID. All right, so okay, choose it again, and everything else remains same. Let's also choose this image again, click on submit, and this time the category has been the course has been created. So let's see, we have user of Walid, category ID web development, language is English, learn Laravel, we have price, we have issue certificate, image, and everything is okay. So the other thing you will notice is that we now have p tags for our description section. One thing I am noticing here, we have a price of double. Okay, okay, that's fine, but the thing that is not fine is basically we have used the price, so we should also use the step to any, so that we can add any number of decimal points here. All right, so now we have our courses created. In the next lecture, what I will do behind the scenes is basically I will create all these pages, definitely all the HTML layout that is required to complete the courses section, and we will also use the nested resource controllers. So what do I mean by nested resource controllers? Are basically the controllers which are nested with other controllers. For example, we now have a main controller called courses. The next thing that we will be working on is basically course learning outcomes. Okay, so this will definitely have a separate controller. Let me show you how that will work. So let me quickly create, just for a second, let me close the unwanted files, and yes, that also needs to be okay. So let's also close this one, and let's create a controller. So PHP artisan make controller course learning, and what do we have? Course learning outcome. All right, so this will be our next controller. So course learning outcome controller, and that would be resource controller. Okay, so what I can do is basically I can use course learning outcome controller, but what I want is basically when the user is edited. Okay, so the user is in edit mode, the course is in edit mode, it should be like courses forward slash, let's say course is 1 forward slash course learning outcomes. This is what I want. Okay, so in order to do that, what I am going to do is basically this will remain the courses dot course learning outcome. All right, so this is called the nested resource controller. So what does this mean is basically this course will be the parent and this will be the nested, or you can say the child controller of this parent controller. All right, and the functionality of this inner controller will also be changed. For an instance, let me just remove the comments from here first. So right now you can see that we only have this edit option of course learning outcome, but we will also accept the course ID as well along with it. So stay tuned, I will explain you in our upcoming videos. That's about it for this section, and I will see you in the next one.